Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Goblin Slayer TRPG. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this role-playing game based on the popular fantasy series, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about recovery. During their adventures, player characters will be wounded and fatigued for many reasons: combat, traps, or walking along poorly maintained paths. If a character wants to recover from wounds and fatigue by resting or sleeping, they must do it in a comfortable or safe place. Comfortable and safe places must not be too cold or too hot, and they must have little chance of being attacked by enemies. When a player character rests or sleeps, the game master should decide on a case-by-case basis whether their location is comfortable and safe. A character's wound count can be lowered by certain spell effects, using items like healing potions or through first aid. They can also be lowered by sleeping for at least 6 hours in a comfortable location. For recovering from wounds using spells or items, you need to read the description of the spell, item, or the first aid skill that you are using to recover. Sleeping mends wounds up to half a character's life force for every 6 hours of sleep. A character can recover spell uses through the worship skill, the meditate skill, or by sleeping. Sleeping recovers all of a character's spell uses for every 6 hours of sleep. Now, when it comes to recovering from fatigue, a character can recover from fatigue from spell effects by using items like stamina potions or by sleeping for at least 3 hours in a comfortable location. Sleeping recovers 1d3 points of fatigue for every 3 hours slept. If the character sleeps for 6 hours straight, they recover 2d3 plus 1 points of fatigue. Now, a character's attrition can be lowered by eating and resting enough, or by sleeping at least 3 hours in a comfortable location. The food eaten can be rations, but the character must rest for at least 30 minutes in a safe place to eat. By having their player character eat and rest this way, a player can erase 3 check marks from their attrition track. Sleeping allows a player to remove 3 check marks for every 3 hours slept. If the player character sleeps for 6 hours straight, the player can remove 10. Now, just to clarify when it comes to recovery from sleep, when you sleep adequately, you recover from wounds suffered, you recover your spell uses, your fatigue, you also recover from that, and attrition. You do not need to sleep separately for each of these different types of exertion that you have suffered from. When sleeping, a character will recover all these things at once. However, once a character has slept a total of 6 hours in one day, they cannot gain any recovery effects from sleeping more until the in-game date has changed. Now, concerning recovering from status ailments, during adventures, characters will suffer a variety of adverse effects from spells, items, traps, and the special abilities of monsters. Write down all of these adverse effects on your adventure sheet as status ailments. You can use the character appearance section or just use the blank space around the edges of the pages. These status ailments can also be healed by spell and item effects. For some of them, a character can perform some sort of action as a main action or free action to recover from it. Status ailments fall into a few major categories: poisons, illnesses, curses, paralysis, drowsiness, bone fractures, hunger, not being able to see out of one or both of the eyes, and being bound. The way to recover from these status ailments is explained in the description for the spell, item, trap, monster ability, etc. that causes it. Some spells and items can remove poison, illness, and curses. Be sure to consult the entry for the spell or item in question. And the game master may also set a special item, facility, or the like that will heal status ailments, as well as recover wounds, fatigue, etc. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about mounted combat and bosses and minions. The way that damage and status is handled in this role-playing game is somewhat gritty. If you keep on fighting non-stop without resting and eating, drinking, etc., your character will probably end up dying pretty soon. This is a game where you need to strategize, think about a safe place to rest and recover during your adventures. Perhaps you will wish to return to town or city depending on the site, but through intelligent gameplay, it is possible to secure a safe location during your explorations. However, you do still have that option of using spells, items, and anything set up by the game master to continue adventuring on, as long as you reach those points where you can recover from all of the damage and status ailments that you have suffered. This permits the easy customization of the tone and feel of the game. If you want a grittier experience, as a game master, do not include those places where you can recover from wounds, recover spell uses and such. But if you want a larger than life style, then definitely include those advantages. In my opinion, in order to enhance the Goblin Slayer style or feel, I would recommend that you keep things as deadly and gritty as possible. Thank you for watching this part of the review and for your likes and your comments. If you have questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.